Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle, and in this video I want to show you 5 books from my mantle. We have a beautiful fireplace here in the living room with a big mantle, and so I like to put some of my old or special books on the mantle. So in this video I wanted to give you a nice close-up look at 5 of those books, and this first one is very special. I received this from Erin's grandmother. This is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, and the reason that this is so special is that it is a book that Erin's grandmother received as an award for the biographical essay competition, June 1942. So I thought that was really cool, and she gave this to me a number of years ago, and I really treasure it. It's cool. What's also great is I really like the Scarlet Letter, and so I love that I have such a great edition of it. There's a preface to the second edition, and then it just dives right in. And there are a few illustrations. Here's Hester with her baby standing on her scaffold. All right, so that's the first one that I wanted to show you. Next up, we have my edition of Jane Eyre, which I think I read for Victober, and I remember thinking, I'm sure stuff happens that I'm not reading about. Why isn't it in here? And it took me forever, longer than it really should have, to realize that I was reading a highly abridged version of Jane Eyre, but I've kept a hold of this book anyway because I just really like it. It's got cool end papers, and so this edition is from J.H. Sears and Company, published in New York. So even though it's a highly abridged version, I keep it, and my in-laws very nicely gave me a unabridged version also so that I can read the full story. But there you go, there's a copy, my copy of Jane Eyre, and there are no dates on this book, and I even went, I tried to Google information and I just couldn't find any information, so I don't know when this edition came out. Next up, we have an edition that I have of North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. Again, this is another edition that I really like. There's some illustrations for you. Illustrations by A.A. Dixon, and this is from Collins Clear Type Press. There's a paragraph about how it first appeared in magazines and now it's in a book form, and then it just dives straight into the story. And there are a few illustrations. Yeah, here's one. Oh, the famous scene where she's out on the balcony and then she gets hit with the rock. I should reread this. I quite enjoy North and South. All right, so there you go. There's my copy of North and South. And then this one is really fun. This is a very battered copy of Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. I don't know if it was a copy from a school or anything, but it is very well loved. But look, isn't that fantastic? So we have Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne, Decorations by Ernest H. Shepard, and this is published by McClelland and Stewart Limited. So published here in Canada. And I love that they call them decorations instead of illustrations. This was first published in 1926, and this edition that I have is from 1934. And it says, "To her, hand in hand we come, Christopher Robin and I, to lay this book in your lap. Say you're surprised, say you like it, say it's just what you wanted, because it's yours, because we love you." And there's an introduction. The contents, in which we are introduced to Winnie the Pooh and some bees. And the stories begin. Chapter 2, in which Pooh goes visiting and gets into a tight place. I like those kind of contents where it's in which. So these have some decorations, as they say, but not a huge amount. For a children's book, it's got far less pictures than let's say, than they do now. But I enjoy this type of thing. It's very whimsical, the way they make the words fit around some of the illustrations and kind of fit the context of the story. I think it's very whimsical, very cute. So there you go. There's my Winnie the Pooh. All right, and then finally we have Robert Falconer by George MacDonald. This is originally published in 1868. Are largely autobiographically characters portraying MacDonald's boyhood acquaintances in Scotland. As a man, Robert Falconer aids the poor and destitute in London, and it is written with some Scottish brogue. So I think that if I attempted to read this book, I would probably have a bit of a hard time of it. This is the new edition, published by Hurst and Blackett Limited. So it's got the contents, part 1, his boyhood, part 2, his youth, and part 3, his manhood. So there you have it. So there you go. There are 5 books from my mantle. I hope you enjoyed that little peek into some of the books that I own and treasure. Have you read any of these books? I would love to chat with you about it in the comment section down below, and I will see you for another video soon.